Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. So I wanted to kick this one off with something that I just saw over on Reddit that was a little alarming to me. And like in my eyes, this kind of proves that DICE didn't really listen to their community when they launched Battlefield 2042 at all. Or I should say, either DICE or EA didn't listen. Probably both of them. So this was a video, some of you guys may have already seen this, over on Reddit, and it's from Shroud, and he is basically detailing, in the lead up to Battlefield 2042 being released, that he and a bunch of other content creators were paid money to actually give EA and DICE recommendations on the game, how to make it better, and what we wanted to see from it. I'm going to play this clip for you guys here. This is kind of eye-opening. It's kind of interesting. Let me go and just, full screen this here for you guys.
Dude, let me just say something before we start this 2042 video. They asked and paid for maybe 60 to 100 content creators for their help. Okay? They did consulting with about, a lot of us. It started with like 60 of us or something, and then it narrowed down to 40.
Like, that's just crazy. I had no idea that this happened at all. Like, all these years, unbeknownst to us, we thought that nobody was involved in this, but sorry, I'm gonna let him finish.
And then 20, and then 10, or whatever it was. Did it a few times. They didn't listen to a thing we said. Not one thing. Not one thing we said. Not a single one. Not one. Why the f did they pay us?
Exactly.
I mean, I got paid, but I couldn't believe it. Like, we know what we're talking about. We play games for a living. We don't stop. We just play. We have you guys in chat who just echo all of the shit that's bad. We know everything. We are the masterminds.
I mean, okay. He gets a little bit condescending, I guess, towards the end there. I mean, calm down, Shroud. Just because you're a content creator, you're not a mastermind. But, like, I get what he's saying, right? They brought in a bunch of content creators, and I would really be interested to know the list, because as far as I'm concerned, maybe you guys know better than I do, I haven't heard anybody say this so far, so I can only assume that they must have had a lot of the Battlefield crowd in there, like, probably Westy, Jack Frags, Stoddy, a lot of other content creators, and I've not heard anybody come out and say this before, that they were involved in any kind of testing for Battlefield 2042 or any kind of feedback giving. And apparently here, according to Shroud, and maybe we should take this with a grain of salt, because perhaps he only gave feedback himself. So when he says that they didn't listen to anything he had to say or they had to say, maybe he's just talking from his own personal perspective. Maybe he gave feedback in like a one-on-one session and he can see that they didn't listen to him. Or maybe he gave that feedback in like an open session and he heard the feedback that other people gave as well, and therefore it's obvious that they didn't listen to anybody. Now, I know I don't want to go on about this like forever. Like, Battlefield 2042 came out, the game launched, it was terrible, now it's been improved. Like, it is what it is. So I don't want to keep banging on about this, every day. But since this has come up again, I think it's, a good point to touch on here for the future and for the next game, how they're going to approach it there. Because the question is, are they actually going to listen to us with the next game or not? Over the past couple of years, DICE have definitely shown that they are listening more to the community now. They've started to add features to the game that the community have been requesting, right? There have been a few hiccups here and there. The squad management system being, I would say, a major one of them. For those of you who don't know, they did bring in squad management a year or more after the game launched. I can't quite remember when it was. But they omitted the ability to kick people from squads. And they must have known that that would go down badly. But probably because of EA stipulating something on their end, they decided to do that anyway. There was a whole lot of drama that ensued because of it. And those of you who were following my channel during that time will know all about that. But it didn't really come out very well for DICE or EA. And eventually they ended up turning things around. They listened to us and they put the kick feature in there. And it really hasn't made much of a difference to the game at all. It wasn't really like that big of a deal. But for the most part, I will say for the past couple of years, they've been listening to the community. And so I would hope that's going to be the case going forward and into the next game. But, you know, DICE and EA, they kind of have a history of doing this. Like, they put out a game, they don't listen, and then we slowly but surely help them improve the game. And they go, oh, okay, guys, yeah, sorry, my bad. You guys were right. Maybe we should listen to you. And then the cycle repeats itself. And one of the reasons I want to mention this is because recently we have seen Marcus Leto, we've seen the creative studio director, Craig Morrison, I believe his name was. He's also left, and it seems, at least in Marcus's case, that there was some bad blood between him and EA. So it does make you start to wonder if EA started stepping on toes and ignoring his feedback in the same way that they have apparently ignored these content creators' feedback here. These 100 creators might have known about the almost rug pull levels of launch 2042 had. Yeah, I mean, he actually goes on to say in another video, Shroud, that like the beta version of Battlefield 2042 was actually better than the launch version. You know, I can't see any content creator that was part of those playtests, at least if they were a Battlefield creator, being asked, do you think specialists are a great idea? And them saying yes. I'm sure they all gave the feedback that this was a terrible idea. I'm sure they looked at the maps and they gave feedback on the maps and said these are terrible because, you know, the game came out in, not even came out, it came out in beta. And people started giving negative feedback about it straight away. So yeah, man, like, I don't really understand the marketing process there. If you're EA, why are you going to pay? I mean, I can't imagine Shroud would take a small amount of money for doing something like that. And I'm sure they paid a lot of other big creators as well for their feedback. Why would you do that if you're not going to listen to that feedback? I really, really do hope that DICE and EA listen to us more with the next game. You know, I'm not necessarily saying that they just have to listen to content creators. I recently seen it online. Some people like to think that content creators ruin Battlefield. And I've also seen in comments on some of my videos that people are under the belief that I and other content creators have a direct line to DICE. They keep posting comments like, hey, Ghost, can you tell DICE about this weapon that's broken, please? And I'm like, yeah, I can't just call them up, dude, and give them a ring. On the other hand, I'm sure they listen to some of my videos and some of my feedback, but no more than they listen to your feedback if you post it on Reddit or on Twitter or make a YouTube video of yourself. And, you know, I don't consider my feedback to be any more or less important than your feedback that you give online as well. So what I really hope, I guess, is that DICE and EA just listen to us, the community, and that we can make this game together. I really, really hope to God that they consult with some of us. It doesn't have to be content creators. I'm sure they'll do it behind closed doors. You know, maybe prominent members of the community, sure. Maybe people who run websites, who are Discord admins, Reddit admins, like whoever you are, if you're passionate about Battlefield, they're good candidates, I believe, to be consulted with. All we can do is cross our fingers, I guess. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this one here today. Food for thought. Let me know your thoughts down below and subscribe for more Battlefield. And I'll see you guys in the next one.